This is a case where we were really able to help a cyclist who was smart enough to help herself before she ever got on the bike. And by that, I mean she was smart enough to get as much uninsured motorist coverage as she could possibly get, which was equal to the limits of liability on her auto policy. So I encourage everybody listening to this video, get uninsured motorist coverage. Hopefully you never need it, but if you're ever in a bad crash, you'll be glad you had it. And this is an example. So this particular lady, very active cyclist, very safe, very fit person, knows how to ride a bike. She gets sideswiped by a car that violated Georgia's law, saying that when you pass a person on a bike, you have to leave a safe distance of at least 3 feet when doing so. Not everybody knows this law, but the 3-foot law is there intended to basically provide additional protection to vulnerable road users like cyclists. So if you are in a car and you're driving along, you're supposed to treat a cyclist like you would treat an emergency vehicle that's pulled over at the side of the road. If you can change lanes safely to the lane next to you, you change lanes and then you pass the cyclist. If you can't change lanes because it's one lane in each direction or it just can't be done safely, then what you're required to do is slow down, number one, and then proceed to pass the cyclist with caution, leaving a safe distance of no less than 3 feet. 3 feet, that's this, okay? You can't get any closer to a cyclist than that. And there's plenty of reasons why it's dangerous when you're less than 3 feet from a cyclist as you pass them. So this car violated that law, hit the person from the side, took them down, and she suffered a nasty broken collarbone, which is a unfortunately common injury for cyclists when they go over the handlebars. She had a good recovery, and we were able to both demonstrate that this was the driver's fault completely, and we got the full amount of insurance coverage that the driver had available under their policy. Then we go back to our client's uninsured motorist coverage, even though she was on her bicycle. The uninsured motorist coverage follows her wherever she goes, whether she's a pedestrian, on a bike, on a scooter, or in somebody else's car, or even in her own car. That goes with you wherever you go. So we got the full limits of the driver's insurance and the full limits of the injured cyclist insurance, both to pay entirely. There was no more money that could be recovered on this case. So it's a great example of how cyclists and everybody can protect themselves by purchasing as much uninsured motorist coverage as the law allows, having it with you, and then, like this cyclist did, when something happens, be an advocate for yourself. I mean, we can do a lot, and we do a lot for our injured clients, but the ones who help themselves are the ones we can help the most. And by that, I mean, at the scene of the crash, if you're able, get photographs, get witnesses' names and contact information. It would be great, and people just assume that the police are going to get all of these details right and get them into the report. But sadly, too often, there are witnesses, there are people who claim that they saw things that we never can find them because nobody took the time to get their name or number or how to contact them. So do that at the scene, advocate for yourself, and it'll make it so much easier for us to make sure that you get a full and complete recovery when that happens. And then we can get to the last part of the story, which is having a time when you're healed from your injuries, presenting you with a check that's beyond your expectations, exceeding anything you ever thought would happen in terms of how this recovery would go, and from that generating a 5-star review from our satisfied and happy clients, because we love doing that. So help yourselves, and that will enable us to help you that much more.